How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Liberty Bowl. It is, of course, live stream Friday, and as we do every Friday here, we come together, smoke a little bit of herb, unburden ourselves by what has been a really long week, and of course, talk about politics, news, current events, and the fall of Western civilization as we know it. Joining me, as always, is my co-host Liberty Swine. How you doing this week, man?
Doing damn fine, man. Out here enjoying the fucking weather. How about yourself?
I'm becoming a believer in global warming. That's how I'm feeling. I'm just kidding. No, it has been unreasonably hot. Let me put it that way. I mean, it's obviously starting to cool down. At the end of this week, and next week's not looking as hot. But yeah, there was a major fucking heat wave fluke going on here in Arizona. But of course, don't we have no room to complain about weather, of course, with everything going on in America today. Of course, Hurricane Helene, we're going to be talking about that. The response, we're going to be talking about, of course, the damage. Of course, first and foremost, I mean, there's already 200 plus confirmed dead. I mean, we just need to take a moment to recognize that, that is horrible. I mean, God rest their souls. I mean, that's horrible. I mean, that's the only way you can describe it, really. Um, but yeah, we'll be talking about the response to that from, of course, the Biden White House, as well as AKA the Walz White House. We'll talk about the FEMA response, all kinds of other stuff about it too. The vice presidential debate was this week, and whew, yeah, it was. If you're a Trump Vance fan, it was everything that you hoped for and more. Right? Vance is a I'll just use their word. He's slick. He's a real slick guy. Right. So yeah, that was excellent. We'll be talking about that. We'll also be talking about World War III escalations, of course, within the Middle East, as well as just I believe it was yesterday or the day before, Russia dropped a vacuum bomb, which is basically the most powerful bomb just below nuclear on Ukraine. So, of course, escalations all over the place, as well as, of course, um, Israel striking, taking out one of the what is it, the Houthi leaders? I get them all mixed up now. Houthi or fucking
They hit a
yeah,
lot of targets. They
yeah,
they were just bumping them off, man.
right. And so, of course, Iran goes ahead and retaliates with uh, fucking was it like 3,000 missiles, some shit like that. Um, And of course, it's just getting more escalations in the Middle East. Of course, America is starting to join in the fray as well. We'll be talking about that. Um, the dock workers have essentially been threatening a strike, and of course, there is a temporary hold on it until after the election. Of course, but yeah, there's the dock workers are threatening to strike right now. That has major implications. We'll be talking about what that means, and we'll be getting pretty much blind um, conversation about it, because I really have no idea what your position on it is. You have no idea what mine is. And we'll just talk about the implications of what this could be, and the reasons, right? We also have a former Mesa County, Colorado clerk has been sentenced to 9 years. Also, a Gold Star family member sentenced to 9 years for essentially backing up a voter records that were subsequently destroyed and were later found in court to be necessary. And she's been punished for that with 9 years in prison. So we'll be talking about, of course, the escalation in political lawfare that's been taking place, of course, on the smaller state front, not as big as Donald Trump. So not making national headlines, all that stuff. I mean, it is making national headlines, but not on the mainstream, right? You got to be kind of in the right wing sphere to find this type of stuff. And then, of course, former an MSNBC producer was caught on hidden camera by, of course, James O'Keefe Media Group. Basically, not basically, literally saying that the mainstream media is the mouthpiece for the Biden-Harris administration for the Democrat Party in essence, right? Basically, whatever the Democrat word of the day is, that's what they're going to go with, and that's why you see constant reels of people just repeating the same thing day after day after day. All right, it's because they're all getting their shit fed from the same fucking toilet, and that toilet is coming from the White House. So, a whole bunch of shit we'll be talking about today, but of course, we'll be talking first about the vice presidential debate, man. So go give us your take on that.
I mean, JD fucking crushed him. Just the looks alone at the camera when he's talking and he's looking at the camera like you hearing this guy. You know what I mean? Old Walz was a fucking mess, especially the first portion. He was just nervous as shit. Pretty obvious. Sweating bullets. He kind of regained, settled down, and you see a lot in the inner zones, like Joe Biden found a vice president dumber than he did, and then the same with Kamala. But I actually think that if anything, Walz showed, and not that this is a high bar, but that he's more capable to think on his feet than at least camel toes. I mean, he had his moments where it was wow, 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 but for the most part, I thought his performance was better than Camel's, man. But ultimately, JD crushed him just with the fact that he was cool as a cucumber the entire time, and he was able to dismantle things with a fucking quickness. And you got to see that, especially when they tried to fact check him and they had to hurry up and shut his mic off because he was fucking crushing. Um, you know, not much more to say than that. I mean, you want to think that the vice president debate's not very important, but we're talking the future of fucking Magistown right there, I guess.
Yeah, yeah, for real. um, just real quick, one quick thing. What do you think Shapiro out of fucking, what was it, Pennsylvania, right? Would have been a better pick, and how do you think he would have fared against JD Vance in the debate?
I think it would have been a much more even keel. You know what I mean? He's a pretty cool guy too. Fucking slick talker, right? As the word of the fucking week. And yeah, I think he would have been a better pick. He's more liked as well by his people in his states, constituents, and whatnot. But of course, you got the old Israel factor, which would have lost support with the fucking radical leftists, man,
Right.
with the
Yep.
jihadi Democrats.
Yeah, which as you're finding out isn't very much. It's not, they're not giving them much support, and they're not boosting their numbers. I mean, yeah, basically every step of the way, the Kamala and the Biden campaign, both of them have made constant mistakes every single step of the way. They've both seemingly been trending down constantly. The only boost that I've seen them get was, of course, when they switched out the old fucking bag of bones for Kamala Harris. That
Right.
lasted very, very shortly. All the buzz has died down from it, and it seems in the media that they're almost angry. Like, they're almost kind of like angry, like, dude, like, what the fuck else do you want us to do for you? Like, how else can we support you? Like, you are so pathetic and worthless. Like, you could see it. They're visibly angry at the Kamala campaign. But in terms of what I think the benefit from this debate was definitely it highlighted the actual issues. It was
Right.
basically the debate that the voters wanted to see from Kamala and Trump. But of course, nobody actually expects that to come from Kamala and Trump, because of course Donald Trump is Donald Trump, and he's going to do what Donald Trump does, and Kamala Harris is empty, and she has absolutely nothing to talk about other than just like and the shit that's been being fed into her ear.
January 6th.
Right, January 6th, every single debunked Democrat talking point that we've heard for the last 4 years straight spewed about Donald Trump, and the January 6th and a threat to
Very fine
democracy.
peoples, and yeah.
Right, just all of the same hoaxes just repeated over and over and over again, verbatim. Everybody's heard them before. Everybody's, like I said, Kamala's she's empty. She has nothing to offer. She has no actual platform that she's trying to offer other than abortions, which, again, Donald Trump is not against abortion. He just wants to bring it back to the states. So yeah, I think ultimately it was the debate that the voters are actually kind of hoping for from the presidents, but the presidents were basically being super political presidents, which is what you expected.
Yeah, it was good shit, and like you said, it's been nothing but stumbling the entire time. I think the honeymoon's over. I think that before that support, the media expected some kind of return as far as you're going to get us ratings and views. You're going to come on, speak to us, and do interviews, and of course, she's using the fucking the basement scheme like Joe Biden's did, and
Katie Hobbs.
while it's yeah, I mean, and to an extent, obviously, it's worked out for her because, she has went from the most disliked vice president of all time to gaining some support in the 40s. But, obvious fucking sham, puppetry in motion.
Yep, absolutely, man. I think a lot of the problem too is like I said, everything that Joe Biden was getting and everything that Kamala Harris is getting as per voters at this point with everything that's been exposed is people voting purely out of a hatred for Donald Trump. Like there's they don't have any issues that they're actually for or against. I mean, there's a lot of brainwashed people that are just like, oh, abortion, we need nationwide abortion and stuff like that. And then there is the complete, ideologues that, actually believe in communism and all this and that shit, aka college students. But ultimately those are really the only base that she has left. There's no actual normies, there's no independent voters that are in any way swayed by what they're trying to offer anymore.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, their one fucking pushing motion is it's gonna ban you killing your kids.
Right.
That's it. And at this point, you'd hope that the vast majority, have had enough economically to where that's one of the last things on their fucking mind. But when you see the polls as far as women are concerned, that's their number one concern.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where men is economics and immigration, it's a vast fucking difference in the whole number one scheme is abortions. That's so fucking embarrassing and disgusting. I got to tell you.
All right. Yep. Yeah, speaking of which, just a little bit of a segue here. Well, not so much segue, but sidetrack. Prop 139 is going to be on the ballot here in Arizona. That is, of course, the codification of abortion within the Arizona Constitution. So, abortion access for basically up to 9 months, as long as a doctor says that it's okay and necessary. All right. So, we already have a 15-week limit here in Arizona. So, like I said, sidetrack. That's what Prop 139 is. It's basically, oh, we need abortions after 15 weeks. And we need to enshrine that within our Constitution. So that way it cannot be changed ever
Right.
by anybody.
That's absolutely ridiculous, right? Because anything that takes the labor, the effort, time of other people is not a right. You know what I
Right.
mean? Rights are things that keep you self-sustained and protect your person.
Yep. Absolutely. But yeah, let's go ahead and jump to some of these clips here real quick. I said I didn't have anything actually prepared or laid out, anything like that, but I do have the vice presidential debate media thumbnail or uh, search from Twitter pull up real quick.
I believe that we actually do have a threat to democracy in this country, but unfortunately, it's not the threat to democracy that Kamala Harris and Tim Walz want to talk about. It is the threat of censorship. It's Americans casting aside lifelong friendships because of disagreements over politics. It's big technology companies silencing their fellow citizens. And it's Kamala Harris saying that rather than debate and persuade her fellow Americans, she'd like to censor people who engage in misinformation. I think that is a much bigger threat to democracy than anything that we've seen in this country in the last 4 years, in the last 40 years. I believe that we actually do have a threat to democracy.
Yep.
Absolutely spot on, man.
Yeah, pretty nailed it. I think a lot of anybody that's basically done any sort of research at this point has come to realize that it's just when a lot of people that are in the upper echelon or people that have any sort of influence notice it. If they say anything, they will be attacked and canceled by the people that basically hold them up and support them. but I think a lot of people are starting to realize it now. That's why I think a lot of people that aren't within, the categories that we were talking about earlier, the absolute ideologues or the people that are, in pure hatred of Donald Trump. I think that's why those are the only people that are still speaking up politically for Kamala Harris, because like I said, anybody that's done any sort of research at this point has basically come to realize what's going on here. And, they're realizing who the actual threat is to democracy, which we don't have here.
Right. And what's the cornerstone of fucking, a free peoples is, speech, right? Hence it's the First Amendment. And, why he's saying is spot on. You hate to bring it up for the millionth time on this fucking show, but, we've talked about it before. Everything a WEF says, it's shortly rolled out or is in the process. And if you remember last year's fucking Davos, their number one thing was cracking down on mis and disinformation online. And you hear him spewing that. You've heard Hillary recently, saying we need to crack down, possibly jail people over speech. Kerry standing on a stage saying if we win, we can reshape the First Amendment, to exclude fucking, basically, of course, what they're going to deem as hate speeches and whatnot. Then you have Adam Shifty Schiff and, of course, the likes of Dan Goldman signing on a letter to all the heads of major social media, including fucking Yacarino over at X, asking how they're going to crack down on speech for the election. Use their responsibilities, which they have none. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
It's the old publisher platform argument. And so yeah, this is their main way right here. This is their way. They see how fucking they can win is just crush opposition and silence you outright.
Yep. It's because it's from the monopoly on media and social media. And then just of course the government being able to actually reach out and kind of nudge these social media companies into censoring information that they don't like, which of course when the Twitter files came out, we found out was exactly what they were doing. And of course what's his dumbass name from Facebook, Zuckerberg has basically admitted that the federal government did well with him, and he's now trying to play this whole I turned over a new leaf thing. But of course a lot of people aren't buying it, especially with how egregious his his oopsies was. So it's I forgot where I was going with that. I'm a little bit stoned.
That he's fucking now he's Ayn Rand, he's libertarians
Right.
and fucking
Right.
It's all a sham, dude. It's all a sham to silence you, man.
Yep. So one quick thing I did want to note with that I did kind of notice with both the debates with the presidential debate and the vice presidential debate is the Democrats always write notes. They're always sitting there scribbling notes, right? And you didn't see Donald Trump scribbling notes. You didn't see him with the fucking notepad. You don't see JD Vance with the notepad, but you did definitely see Kamala Harris, and you definitely did see Tim Walz constantly just writing notes, throughout the entire thing, which of course I write notes as well, but at the same time, shit, I smoke weed too, and I'm not running for the president, man.
That's because they spent their fucking they're sapped on brain power. They spent it all memorizing talking points and slogans, man.
Right. And fucking hanging out with little children down on Epstein Island and fucking wherever the fuck Diddy's place was.
Everybody's getting pizza.
I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it.
Oh, yeah,
I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it.
Oh man, yeah, dude, that one was. I caught that right away, dude. Like, because I was watching the vice presidential debate live, and yeah, I caught it right away. I was like, "You just say he's become friends with school shooters?" Right. So, at first, I was writing it off as just obviously he misspoke, right? But then I listened to Tim Pool ranting and bitching about it, and I actually kind of agreed for a minute, and his basic thing was, well, what was he trying to say then? Like, what would he mean? Like, I become friends with the families of school shooters. Why would you be friends with the families of people that are school shooters? Or I become friends with the victims of school shooters. Well, they're dead. Or I become friends with the victims' families of school shooters. Like, there's so many words missing here, you know, like
Right.
what were you actually trying to say? Like, I don't know, you know.
Yeah, but you know, he kept mentioning the fucking Sandy Hook family, so you know, you know where he was going, and like I said, no matter what, you got to admit his performance was better than Camel's. All she did was just try to, you know, throw insults and talk around fucking questions, you know.
Yeah. Well, of course, I mean, he didn't do too much better of being direct on much of anything as well, too. I mean, of course, there was I'm sure we'll probably come across it here in a second, but what was it when they asked him about fucking his Tiananmen Square when he was standing right there in the streets, you know, trying to block the tanks and shit, you know.
Yep. Not a
When he
good
was
recovery for sure.
right when I learned about democracy and the importance of democracy. Let me see, this one might be it.
Yeah, I mean, dude, he's a straight commie piece of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Americans after the
never
economy
took away from
and
that.
inflation. After the 2020 election, President Trump's
You're right. Yeah, fucking connections to the Chinese Communist Party. So
campaign and others filed 62 lawsuits contesting the results. Judges, including those appointed by President Trump and other.
yeah, this one's too long.
Yeah, but who the
Yeah,
fuck goes
just
to
all
China
the pictures
30
that we
times?
got.
Right. But
Joe
according
Biden,
to
of
the
course.
left, dude, those big ass fucking eyes and that was showing his passions. He was just showing you how heartfelt
Right.
he is on the subject.
It's fucking passionate right there. He's so passionate. It looks like he fucking popped a couple mollies before he went on stage. And he's
I don't know if
fucking
you've seen that
passionate
article
about something right now.
Yeah, they were saying like his facial expression showed passion, and JD Vance was, you know, he's intimidating to feminists because of his beard.
Right.
What the fuck, man?
This beard right here. This beard that's intimidating, you know, specifically to women, specifically feminists, right? But at the same time, you don't hear them saying anything like that about fucking, you know, say someone like Ruben Gallego, who is, of course, the opponent of Kerry Lake for the Senate here in Arizona. He has almost an identical beard to JD Vance, same color, same amount of gray and everything. And but you don't hear nothing about that, right? He's not offsetting to feminists, right? Yeah, maybe he is. Feminists probably just hate him. They just vote for him because he got a D next to his name. Because of course that's what they do. They all vote in lockstep.
He's not a misogynist in this.
All right, he's not a Nazi, so he's one of the good bearded fellas.
Yeah, he's not some sofa.
All right.
Governor Walz, you said
go.
you were in Hong Kong during the deadly Tiananmen Square protests in the spring of 1989. But Minnesota Public Radio and other media outlets are reporting that you actually didn't travel to Asia until August of that year. Can you explain that discrepancy?
Yeah, well,
fuck
there's
is he
folks
writing
out there
right
who didn't
there?
get at the top of this.
Right.
Look, I grew up in small rural Nebraska, town of 400, town that you rode your bike with your buddies till the streetlights come on, and I'm proud of that service. I joined the National Guard at 17, worked on family farms, and then I used the GI Bill to become a teacher, passionate about it, a young teacher. My first year out, I got the opportunity in the summer of '89 to travel to China. 35 years ago, be able to do that. I came back home and then started a program to take young people there. We would take basketball teams, we would take baseball teams, we would take dancers, and we would go back and forth to China. The issue for that was to try and learn. Now, look, my community knows who I am. They saw where I was at. Look, I will be the first to tell you, I have poured my heart into my community. I've tried to do the best I can, but I've not been perfect. And I'm a knucklehead at times, but it's always been about that. Those same people elected me to Congress for 12 years. And in Congress, I was one of the most bipartisan people, working on things like farm bills that we got done, working on veterans benefits. And then the people of Minnesota were able to elect me to governor twice. So look, my commitment has been from the beginning to make sure that I'm there for the people. to make sure that I get this right. I will say more than anything.
Like JD
Many
Vance
times
is smart over
I
there,
will
just like-
talk a lot. I will get caught up in the rhetoric. But being there, the impact it made, the difference it made in my life, I learned a lot about China. Other critiques of this, I would make the case that Donald Trump should have come on one of those trips with us. I guarantee you he wouldn't be praising Xi Jinping about COVID. And I guarantee you he wouldn't start a trade war that he ends up losing. So this is about trying to understand the world. It's about trying to do the best you can for your community. And then it's putting yourself out there and letting your folks understand what it is. My commitment, whether it be through teaching, which I was good at, or whether it was being a good soldier or was being a good member of Congress, those are the things that I think are the values that people care about.
Wait. You're like, dude, fucking, that's like Democrat modus operandi. Say a whole bunch of words that have absolutely nothing to do with the question and hope everyone forgot what the fucking question was.
Yes, sir. That's what I was just about to say, man. Well, I mean, not obviously not in that way, but yeah, basically that was the biggest fucking non-answer that you've ever heard in your fucking life. I love China, man. China, you know, fucking Chinese food is great. They don't eat fucking cats and dogs, I swear. You know, I went down to China. I used to take kids to shoot basketball hoops down there. It was a great time. You know, Donald Trump should have went there. Donald Trump was not shooting basket hoops in China. I could tell you that much right now. I could guarantee you that because I was there for that and I did not see any of that there. But I could tell you that I was definitely there during this. Like he goes just rambles and you know,
Right.
but this part I did find interesting is the fact that they push back on it on a little bit, right? And like I said, we've been seeing that just a smidge more. And I personally believe that they're pissed off at the Harris Walz campaign because, of course, the mainstream media obviously has correspondence with the Biden and Kamala Harris White House. And basically that they're failing. They have the media on speed dial and they're failing. They basically are able to write the script for the morning news and they're failing, right? They're able to censor anything that they don't want and they're failing. And so, of course, that's got to be disheartening to a lot of the people within the mainstream media. So we're seeing possibly them push back on it right now and basically just trying to, you know, throw a wrench in their gears, maybe trying to save a little bit of face with the old Trumpster. Of course, that's probably what most people are suspecting old Zuckerberg is doing. So, I mean, that's what I think is actually happening. I think that they're basically pissed at the Kamala and Walz campaign, and they're trying to save their own asses because they know that a fucking a shitstorm is coming their way. That they of course deserve it though.
Yep, they're not getting their fucking sit downs, interviews, and ratings, man. So they're like, you know, fuck you guys. But we could light you up. They're like giving them a little taste.
Right, burn them to the ground. Did you actually, real quick, as well? Did you see Joe Biden? He did like a little 15-minute, random presser today.
I saw a couple clips. That was it. I didn't watch it.
Yeah, like the end of it, man. He basically took like one last question, and it was basically about Kamala Harris, and he just kind of says like one more time, like oh yeah, like she was part of every single decision that is taking place, taking effect in America right now, and she is right there making in charge of all the laws and stuff like that. Basically
Right.
talking her up and how important she was to his administration and how nothing basically went down that is taking place right now in America that she did not approve. And so, and then, basically the room kind of erupts, man. Like the room kind of erupts a little bit. And he just kind of does his little, little Biden smirk real quick. Just looks around at everybody with his weird smile and just kind of turns and walks off, But,
yeah, I did see a short clip of that, man, when he
Yep.
was saying that, she was in on all of it. And, implication, fucking, you know what I mean? Taking swipes. What is he doing, dude? Is he
Right.
just completely gone and he doesn't realize, or is, you know what I mean? Is it like
Yep.
him fucking going out and being sour? Like, fuck you, man.
Right. Like, shit, how did you open it? Is something like, oh yeah. They're like, hey, welcome, welcome, Mr. President. He's like, hey, welcome to the swimming pool. Yep. Yeah, that's what he said. That's how he opened up the the presser. He's telling the pressers, the press, welcome to the swimming pool. But anyway, let's go ahead and watch them push back on it real quick and just watch him kind of stumble over his words a little bit. Well, not so much stumble over his words. He does look like he's a little bit taken aback. He probably did not expect. He probably expected them to just great answer. Now let's go on to JD Vance. But yeah, they kind of pushed back. It's a little bit weird.
Governor, just to follow up on that, the question was, can you explain the discrepancy?
All I said on this is I got there that summer and misspoke on this. So I will just, that's what I've said. So I was in Hong Kong and China during the democracy protests, went in. And from that, I learned a lot of what needed to be in governance.
What the fuck?
Right. You notice those awkward pauses? Like he was save me. Like he's like, well, yeah, I misspoke. And then like he was hoping that they're gonna like, okay, well, like, or move on or something like that. But they just kind of, I'm guessing, sat there staring at him, and so yeah, that's what happened. But yeah, he basically just admitted that I'm full of shit, and he just used about 100 extra words to admit the same thing. But basically the gist of it is, yeah, I'm full of shit.
It's so hilarious watching this, and they push the whole, JD Vance is weird, isn't it? Like, this is one of the, first guys to spout that. And this dude is just a fucking weirdo, man. He's an awkward, you know what I mean? Just strange fella.
Yeah. I mean, put tampons in the boys' restrooms, man. His fucking wife was talking about during the fucking Minneapolis riots, looking outside her window and smelling the fucking tires burning, like smelling the city burning down. Just like who the fuck does that?
The smell of the tires is
right.
Fuck,
like, you know that your husband is in charge of this, right? This is your guys' fault. Like, who goes out and smells the fucking carnage? Like, who does that shit?
Evil, ghoulish cunt, man. You see when she spoke at one of the rallies, she's the same way, all big-eyed, all crazy and shit.
Yep. Yeah, fucking these people are insane. These people are they're lizards. They're literal fucking lizards, you guys. Yeah, we're gonna get banned now. But let's go ahead and check out the beard real quick.
In Springfield, Ohio, and in communities all across this country, you've got schools that are overwhelmed. You've got hospitals that are overwhelmed. You have got housing that is totally unaffordable.
That's exactly right.
The people that I'm most worried about in Springfield, Ohio, are the American citizens.
I agree with that. Definitely.
Just to clarify for our viewers, Springfield,
Here we go again.
Ohio does have a large number of Haitian migrants who have legal status, temporary protected.
But
Thank you, Senator. We have so much to get to.
Margaret, I think it's important
We're
because
going to turn out of the economy. Thank
Margaret,
you.
the rules were that
The
you guys weren't
economy,
going to
we're-
fact check, and since you're fact checking me, I think it's important to say
Economy.
what's actually going on. So there's an application called the CBP One app where you can go on as an illegal migrant, apply for asylum or apply for parole, and be granted legal status at the wave of a Kamala Harris open border wand.
Bingo.
Yep. And of course, mainstream media is now trying to attack JD Vance for mansplaining. Right? Yep.
Yeah, that was
Mansplaining,
pretty fucking funny, man.
which of course she couldn't refute. She basically, thank you for explaining the immigration process to us. That's not an immigration process. That's a 5-minute. Okay, I am Jewish citizen. Like, I mean, they're trying to make it harder to sign into fucking porn sites. Like, they're trying to make you show more fucking ID to show it to sign into fucking porn on the internet, right? But no, you just have to click a fucking button and you get a fucking a presumptive date that subject to change, possibly, but either way, it's about 5 to 10 fucking years in the future already anyway. So, yeah, there's, actually, I did see an article today that the Biden administration is not renewing protected status for Venezuelans. Did you see that one?
That's because it's people that freshly suffered under fucking socialism, and they don't want that, man.
Right. Yep. Yeah, they're pretty particular with who they let in and who they don't let in. Right. But
Yeah, to an extent, if they think that they're going to gain you fucking potentially, they'll wave you on in. But like Cubans, for instance, they don't want them here because
yeah,
they're like, fuck that, man, communism bullshit, right?
yeah,
But
fuck the economy.
it sucks in that video how right there it gets cut off. Because not only did they cut fucking the mics and shit, but remember Tim Walz is next to him, like fucking, that's been on the book since 1990. Like, bro, there
Right.
was no apps in 1990. What the fuck are you talking about, man? You know what I mean?
We've been using the CBP One app since the 80s, bro. What are you tripping on, man? That's one of the very first things fucking that they created the fucking computer for, was for illegal immigrants to be able to check in.
And again, though, originally, I read that it was intended for like businesses. Like if you're at the border, fucking, you got a shipment of fucking fruit and shit. You're not gonna hold you up to let it rot. You go on this fucking app, bang, 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 and they bring you in to fucking drop your shit off. But of course, under this administration, everything's just being misused and used against you, rather.
Yep. Yeah, they're trying to fucking destroy this place, man. Speaking of destroying this place, so Hurricane Helene, right, as we already said, the death toll has already risen to over 200 people. Right? What is it affecting? Like the Panhandle of Florida, the Carolinas,
North Carolina, Tennessee,
Tennessee,
quite a
Georgia.
large area.
Yeah, it's pretty destructive. As you said, over 200 people have already died already. But the big thing going on right now is, of course, the response. And there's, of course, two sorts of responses. There's one that's a very, very bad look for the government, especially considering the amount of money that we spend on other nations. And then there's the heartwarming response, and that's the down home grassroots people basically coming out with their fucking tractors and their fucking ATVs and their chainsaws and basically pulling people out of the wreckage, trying to save as many people as they can. There's people actually bringing bulldozers and building fucking roads and shit so that way they could bring in emergency services and all that. Like the people are the ones doing all of this shit, right? It's not FEMA, it's the people, right? So there's two different sides to the response right now. And of course, it has really similar parallels to the Maui fire response, right? Basically, didn't they send them the same amount, $750?
It was 700 for them.
Oh, it's damn.
$50 less.
Inflation adjusted this time, right?
Oh, $50.
Dang, don't spend that all in one place, right? I can better stay out of fucking Jack in the Box. But
plus, where the fuck are you going to spend it? Everything around them's fucked. There's no power. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the Walmart down the road's open where they can go get some groceries. Like everything's fucked, man.
Yeah. Your fucking house is destroyed and all your vehicles are buried under fucking 6 feet of mud. Like you're not going to be driving to the Days Inn down the street because they're probably fucking buried under 12 feet of fucking mud. Like, yeah, it's not helping, And on top of that, it took 5 days for them to do anything, like anything at all. The federal government took 5 days to actually even get out there, reach out to them.
Because we don't have a president. You got a dead body that's laying on the fucking beach, and then Camel Toes is partying in California, man, raising cash for her campaign. You know what I mean? Like there's nobody in charge, man.
Yeah. And of course, FEMA has basically said that we don't got the money. You guys, like, well, what happened with all the money? Oh, I'm glad you asked. Take it away, swine.
Well, I mean, one, if you listen to old fucking Mayorkas, right, just 3 months ago, he told you how they're super prepared for natural disasters and whatnot, right? Now they're broke and saying that, they're not going to make it economically through the hurricane season. And, but, they're meeting the immediate needs, right? But meanwhile, they've spent, over $1 billion moving around immigrants, housing them, giving money to sanctuaries where they're passing out Xboxes and gift cards. I mean, we're talking, minimum of 650 million just housing and feeding alone. And that's not all the other shit, healthcare, yada, yada. And of course, in this situation where you go on the FEMA sites and their whole agenda is all equality and DEI. Like they're not even worried about trying to help people. Even recovery, they're talking about, well, we have to do it, with equities, equalities, and it's pretty fucking bad. And now they're even saying that illegals in the area where this flooding's happened, they're going to get aid. They're going to get aid.
Right. Of course, if you've been following this channel or basically any sort of a conservative or basically just non-mainstream media channel, you know that the word equitable simply means racially based. Right. Of course, that's their big thing is divide and conquer. They want segregation. Right. They want the people in constant fights over each other. Right. The two-party system isn't working anymore. The people are starting to notice who the actual enemy is, and it's not each other. It's the people up top. So we got to break people down even farther. Let's get down to their identity. Are you gay? Are you fucking black? Are you multiracial? Are you from this fucking nation? Are you an immigrant here? Are you a first generation? Or what are you? Right? Identify with that. And they just basically try to divide people up even farther. And then of course now, as we see, they're trying to further break up the fabric of America by just injecting immigrants into every single corner of America, from the Midwest all the way to the sanctuary cities. Those are already immigrant havens anyway. But I mean, like the places where you wouldn't expect them. Like Kansas and shit like that.
Red states and cities, man.
Springfield, Ohio. Those fucking places. They're overrun with immigrants. And that's not an accident. All right. Again, a lot of people were cheering on the busing and stuff like that of course Greg Abbott was doing it. Us as well, we were cheering it on for a little while too, until we started to realize what was happening. And it's basically they were just transporting them to these fucking sanctuary cities, and these sanctuary cities basically would either hold them, they send them out wherever the fuck they want to go. And of course the Biden administration was also flying and busing them into all these different cities. Of course, Katie Hobbs here in Arizona was also using our tax dollars to bus these people anywhere within the country that they wanted to go. Right. So this wasn't on accident, but
and of course it's not just this. I mean, also, you got the billions that just went to Ukraine and fucking Israel. And then Biden comes out and says, we don't have any more resources to send, to the flooding area. And then what is it? Less than 48 hours later, then he approves hundreds of millions to go to fucking Taiwan. You know what I mean? So, it's always, we got money for foreign wars and, immigrants and whatnot. But then on top of that, there's 360 substations, for, the electrical network in the flood areas that are down, that need new transformers. And, the government usually has a stockpile of this shit just in case of this exact, a situation. But lo and behold, where are they at? They sent them to Ukraine, of course.
Right,
man.
of course.
Fucking of course.
Why wouldn't we, man?
Right.
You got to send it to the people that need it.
Yeah. And in the meantime, just like their boondoggle with, we're going to connect peoples to broadbands, and they excluded fucking Starlink, cut off funding for Starlink with that situation because they weren't cables that could be buried, right? They're not fiber optics. But lo and behold, what are they using right now in the flood area? Fucking Starlink, man, right? Elon to the rescue as usual. Put in 40, got 43 stations running already. And then, he's sending in SpaceX to try to bring in supplies, whatnot, help out. They got helicopters coming, and FEMA won't let them land.
Right.
And you see him and old Pete Buttigieg going at it, on X at each other, where, he's trying to say, well, this ain't real. Elon's talking shit. So Elon replies to it, like, I'll follow you. Give me the number to call. Like, the helicopters are in the air. And then he posts again a little while later, like, I'm still waiting, man. Fucking crickets. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what this is they basically, I don't know. I mean, I don't want to get too down the conspiratorial rabbit hole, but keep in mind, these are all deep, deep red, counties and stuff that are over there. And of course, and I'm not trying to say, but we're a couple of weeks, we're just days from the election. And if you could keep these, how are they going to get their mail-in votes if they ain't got a mailbox anymore? How are they going to go down to the polling places if they're too busy trying to fucking dig their whatever remains of their belongings out of their home, whatever is the wreckage of their homes? They're going to be too busy for all of that stuff. So I mean, there could be that angle to the delayed or lack of response at all. But either way, this is basically the Biden administration's Hurricane Katrina moment.
Yeah, they're saying this is like one of the worst natural disasters here in America since then. And you got that piece of shit Lindsey Graham going on Fox News, and he's like, "Yeah, I've seen all this. It's terrible, but look what's going on over in Israel's." Like, dude, fuck.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with these people, man?
Right. These people
Like
are
that's his area. Like, he represents that fucking state, North Carolina, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
These people are fucking insane. These people are sick. Like they're like sick, like mentally sick. Like, they're
draconian ghouls, man. For real.
absolutely, man. Yeah, these people are nuts. They've gone drunk with power, and we've talked about it quite a bit before, that this is really the death throes of an empire, and that's what's going on right now. They're basically getting into their wildest and their wackiest, and of course, we all know what happens right once they start going. Right after they get into that stage, that usually comes right before the collapse. So of course, everybody just make sure that you guys are prepared, stocked up. Get yourself some firearms, some ammunition. Make sure you know your neighbors, know your friends. Build communities, stuff like that. Just get prepared, because things are looking like they're going to get a lot wackier, from here on out. Of course, everybody, we believe that Donald Trump's going to end up winning, but of course, you still have to keep in mind that he has an entire bureaucratic and deep fucking state that's going to be completely against him throughout the entire thing. And of course, unless we win the House and the Senate at the same time, we're really going to be kind of just going nowhere, chasing our tail with the media talking shit the entire way.
They'll impeach him immediately if he doesn't have fucking some type of control of the chamber.
Right. His entire 4-year administration is going to be just red tape the entire fucking time. That's all it's going to be. So yeah, there's that. But of course, like I said, things are looking up. A lot of people, especially with this going on right now, there's a lot of people that cannot deny this, especially, people even in these blue cities and stuff, that are all of their local resources are going toward housing immigrants. All the stuff that used to go to supposedly keeping people off of the streets is now going to keeping illegal immigrants ready to vote at a moment's notice. And of course, a lot of these people are seeing just this stuff going on in their neighborhoods, and then now they're seeing it on a massive scale, right? With clear data on lives lost, and just the response is insulting. It's insulting, and it's gut wrenching. Just, this is our government. These are the people. This is the most powerful government on the face of the earth, and we have people dying, just sitting on top of their roofs for days, just waiting for help, but it's not coming. And if it does come, it's usually not going to be coming from our government. It's going to be coming from your neighbors pulling up on a fucking boat or some shit like that to help you out. But yeah, this is insane. This is actually insane.
I saw the perfect meme, dude. It's people standing on the roof of the house. It's flooded, up to the shingles. And they see a helicopter coming from the distance, and they're like, fuck yeah, like they're starting to celebrate. And it comes up and drops off a load of fucking illegals, and then flies back off.
Right, man. That's what's going on, dude. Like, that's what's going on. So I think a lot of it is just this administration is so bad. Like, everything is so bad that nobody can try and defend him anymore. Like I said, like we were talking about earlier, even the mainstream media is just fed up with it. Like, they can't do it anymore. So I feel like maybe that's the reason that they're starting to try and push back just a little bit, just to try and save a little bit of face with the public. But yeah, ultimately this is, I mean, obviously not, we've been through darker times, but I definitely have to say this is at least politically and legally just one of America's darkest hours, I'd say.
Yeah, and while the media continues to lie, you do have leftists that come out from time to time and fucking tell the truth, like old fucking rat face Schumer just came out, to tell you that it's part of America's to accept all these immigrants, and that you can't fund yourself anymore. That we're not replacing ourselves. We're not having enough babies, but yet their whole platform is running on abortion. Which
Right.
in case people didn't know, since the overturning of Roe, there's been a record amount, over 2 million abortions since the overturning of Roe. You know what I mean? So it's not like it's gone or it's been outlawed. Like, fuck, the absolutely ridiculous shit. But again, even the lizard tongue will fucking let a little truth seep through from time to time.
Yep. Yep. Just hopefully, I don't know. Like I say, I just hope that enough people are starting to wake up to the reality of what's going on, and starting to wake up. I think a lot of it too is the gravity of this election. Like, there's no denying that this is probably one of the most important elections in American history. Definitely, bar none, the most important election within anybody's lifetime right now. Any living person right now. Never seen any sort of political atmosphere like this going on in America. Yeah. So yeah, it's
Yeah,
definitely
even when you hear older people like, this has happened, it's been like this, like, no, it hasn't. Like, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, in the fucking mid 1800s. Yeah.
right. And if anything, anybody that says that still says, that, oh, we've had stuff like this go on, you're really just looking at the tip of the iceberg. Like, you're not actually looking below the surface and checking out our economic issues, checking out our geopolitical issues, checking out just everything that's been going on, the layers upon layers of legal precedent that we have, that basically just our entire nation is basically just gone to shit because of the fact that nobody's been paying attention for generations now. Basically, everybody's just been really kind of glued to their idiot box. That really just seems kind of like what the intention was, after World War II, is just keep people dumb, and then we'll just be able to do whatever we want with them, and they'll think it was their fucking idea.
Yep. And the same. I mean, all this is like the ramifications of pearl clutchers, whether it's being offended or horrified or what have you. And, they become a soft ass fucking, soft men, man.
Yep.
That's all you can go with that. And, I've recited it so many times that, you don't want to play it out, but it's happening around you. It's unfolding. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're, believes in the sciences and love is love, but, everything around you's on fire. It's fine. I'm fine.
Yeah, let me see if I could pull up some of the media from this stuff. At least the decent side. Yep. There answers that age-old question. Oh, without taxes, who will build the roads?
Right, man.
We will.
That's fucking horrific shit.
It's still going to be us.
So here today in Swannanoa, North Carolina, one of the hardest hit towns by Hurricane Helene, looks like a tornado came through. There's no government here. There's no FEMA. People are just coming in here with supplies, fuel, food, whatever we can to try to help this community. Every dollar I make from this video, I'm donating it to Hurricane Helene relief efforts. So please share, repost, comment, like, anything you can do that can boost this video. You're going to help people in need. Currently delivering aid at Swananoa Church of God, and I just want to give you guys a look at the flooding in the church basement. Remember, this is a week after the storm. Still no power. Still no clean water, and we're just trying to dig out from the mud in here. There's more flooding. Making some progress down in the basement. Hungry people ready to get a hot meal. As you can see, we've got helicopters flying in and out. Really the most efficient way, the only way to get in and out of here. I mean, this auto shop just crumbled on its stones. I mean, completely gutted. Your thing, guys. Repost, share, like, comment. Anything you can do to make this video go farther is going to help people in need.
Yep. That's crazy, man. But like I said, it does show the actual grit of the American spirit, Like you wouldn't see that type of shit going on in fucking, these big fucking blue cities and shit. Everyone would just be sitting around, crying about how fucking Joe Biden does not like black people. But no, these people, they're getting to it,
Yeah, it's fucking, it's all you can do. It's good to see and shit, but at the same time, fuck, horror show, right? We've had it good in this country for a long time, for the most part, in most areas, and to be without electricity for such an extended period, and then you think about how they want to force you into everything electric, cars and whatnot, and solar, yada yada. Dude, you'd be fucked. You'd be even more fucked. What's saving people out there is manpower and gas power.
Yep. Yeah, actually, one of the customers whose houses I was working on today, they actually weren't even home, so I was just working in there by myself. But yeah, I called them, and they were actually over there in was it North Carolina, just over there helping out with all the rescue and stuff like that. So I didn't see too much about them. I did see they had pretty much Bibles just in about every room in their house. So I'm pretty sure they're probably pretty conservative people. But yeah, I called him. I was like, "Oh, I'm here to treat your guys' house," and he was like, "Oh, I'm over there in North Carolina right now, so looks like I'm not going to be getting back anytime soon. We're over here trying to get people organized and stuff like that." But yeah, pretty crazy stuff, man. But yeah, it's the people that are over there helping people out. Even from all the way down here in Arizona, people are out there going and just trying to do what they can. But yeah, definitely some crazy stuff.
Like you said with the Bible situation, maybe they're with a church group or something, because reports everywhere all over the inner zones that you can't get in unless you're with some organized group, or like you're a local with, like you said, 4x tractors, shit like that. And fucking that's the most ridiculous part, about them preventing people. I understand, like they're saying, like on Tim, for instance, don't roll in your fucking Prius thinking you're going to help, jump out in flip flops. But men ready to work should be welcomed in that situation, and that's something that's got areas through fucking disasters for how long, right? I mean, the existence of fucking organized civilization, I'm sure, and to have these people saying, "Don't come here and help," like, what the fuck? Yeah, you guys aren't doing nothing, man.
Right.
And as much as they'll say like we're there, we're doing our part, you see these videos everywhere, the shit coming out where people that are in the fucking trenches are like, no, there's nobody here. There's no fucking government. I mean, they're panning around showing you there's nobody.
Right. At least they got $750, man. I'm pretty sure that bought quite a few of those hot dogs and buns that were being cooked up over there to help the people actually working and rescuing people.
Right. Unless Uber's investing in helicopters, I fucking
Right. But no, I mean, it really does. Like I say, it shows you the difference in grit, I guess, in character of people. Like I said, a lot of people within these deep blue cities and stuff like that, they would just be sitting around saying "woe is me," feeling bad for themselves, and feeling that they've been let down and all this and that. Like I say, these people, they jumped into action. These people aren't getting paid for this. Like, if anything, they're putting their equipment and stuff at risk. There's this equipment and stuff that they're using. It's not paid for by the taxpayers. That's their livelihood that they're putting on the line to try and save their homes and their cities and stuff. So yeah, I mean, like I say, it's kind of a bit of a microcosm as to what actually happened, if the shit really did hit the fan, and it, like I said, it really depends on where you're at. It really depends. Like I said, know your neighbors, get to know your community, if they can build connections with people and stuff. You never know. It just might fucking save your life one day. As we see, it's doing just that over there in the southeast United States. So
I got nothing but 100-year-olds around me, man. I'm fucked.
Right. Don't worry, I'm sure they all have a fucking arsenal that you can fucking use if need be.
Maybe a lot of priests.
Pretty sure fucking good shot from fucking 100 yards, like he'll watch your back.
Right.
Yeah. But and you're gonna come out all fucking Clint Eastwood style and shit. Get off my neighbor's lawn. Right. But yeah, so World War fucking 3, man, it's knocking at our doorstep. Let's go ahead and watch one of these real quick. So let's see. Russia's first uses. This is from October 2nd, right? So we're at the 4th. So yeah, it's 2 days ago. Russia's first ODAB 9000 vacuum bomb on Vovokhansk. I don't know how to pronounce that. I'll just go with that. One of the most powerful non-nuclear munitions in the world. The estimated weight of the explosive is 7,100 kilograms. Is the world still afraid that Ukraine will strike at airplanes and airfields? Yeah, absolutely crazy. Let's check some of this stuff out. I don't know if there's any audio to any of this. Nah. So I do just want to point out, much of this city does look destroyed already. I doubt there's a lot of lives lost at that point, that people that were still within that city that were not military combatants. But I mean, regardless of the fact, it's still a major escalation within the war over there in Ukraine's. As we talked about last week, the NATO is basically sending not intercontinental, but long range ballistic missiles to Ukraine, which of course is a major escalation on NATO's side, which of course Ukraine is not a member of, but nonetheless they are still pretending that they are anyway, and NATO is still treating like they are anyway. And again, of course, if Russia were to get hit with a long-range ballistic missile, that would not have been fired by Ukraine, because of course Ukraine does not have the equipment to fire these missiles, which of course would be satellites in outer space. Unless they start launching rockets real soon, I don't think that they're going to actually have any of their own to use, so they'd have to use NATO's. They also don't have the operators that are trained in order to actually control these satellites, which control these missiles. So again, those would need to be NATO operators. So again, it would quite literally be 100% NATO pulling the trigger and launching these missiles over there into Russia, which would of course be an act of war. So yeah, World War III escalates. We also got stuff going on in the Middle East now too. But what's your take on this on the Russia Ukraine part, and then we'll go ahead and talk about the Middle East.
I think it's absolute show of power. Like you said last week, we were talking about it, and Putin was out there saying like an act of war could push to tactical nukes, and this is like he said the biggest non-nuclear fucking weapon, and this was we haven't even begun to fight. You guys keep fucking around, and then I think it was either today or yesterday where you had the head of NATO just come out and say, well, Ukraine's trajectory towards membership is irreversible. So I mean, they're just going to keep pressing it forward, and that's all they've done is provoke and prod.
Yep. Yeah, shit. It's like I said, it's getting real bad, man. Especially on the geopolitical scale, because a lot of the stuff I don't even really kind of know which way to predict anymore. With China, with the BRICS nations, with Russia, with the Middle East. You don't even know. It seems like it's going to be all out chaos. Especially with NATO as well too. You don't know what's going on with them too. Turkey's trying to bounce out as well. Yeah, so many fucking different directions. Like we said, tip of the iceberg.
They'll have everything fucked. There'll be more skyrocketing fucking inflation soon, and economically everything's going to be fucked. This new jobs shit that come out will know previous fucking times, right? Every single time it's been revised backwards. And then escalating everything, letting shit get out of hand that could be settled, and making you fund it. They're just leaving, whoever the next administration is, an absolute fucking shit show.
Right. Yep. Yeah. I mean, really, like I say, Donald Trump's going to have his work cut out for him. It's so many different angles from all of this stuff that he's got to have to clean up, down to the economy that he's going to have to clean up on the home front. Which as well equates to the global economy. He's going to have to put out a whole lot of fires from these left wingers that are going to be pretty much burning down cities left and right as soon as he takes office. He's going to be dodging bullets left and right before from the time of election day till inauguration day. He's got his work cut out for him, and so this is just another piece to the puzzle. But of course, it's also keep in mind that when it does come to Putin and Ukraine, Donald Trump does have the advantage on that. I'm pretty sure he could cut this down. He could nip this in the bud as soon as he gets into the office. Day one, as he would put it. But yeah, he's definitely got the respect of Vladimir Putin, I believe, at least, and Vladimir Zelensky. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? Really?
That's why you seen him being jerked around by Trump when they fucking met. It was like,
right.
Like, I'd like to see you have a closer relationship with us. And he was like, yeah.
Yep. Yeah, dude. Like I said, everything's looking real fucking promising. This does seem like it was a very good like I say, week politically for us, for the Trump administration. Yeah, do you think things are like I said, anybody that's even taking a moment to actually look into anything going on right now? Of course, we had fucking, what was it, Elaine Bennett from fucking Seinfeld basically coming out and saying what everybody already knows about all of these fucking Hollywood celebrities without even knowing that she's fucking saying it because she's so fucking dumb. But she basically just says, I don't have any idea what the fucking issues are right now, but I think you should vote for Kamala because I just have a feelings about it. It's just I have the feels in my guts. So yeah, that's basically all that the Kamala campaign has left right now. It's fucking clueless celebrities.
Meanwhile, Trump quietly
clueless has-beens.
And meanwhile, Trump quietly picked up, the endorsement of 200 generals and fucking admirals. But of course, they're not going to tell you that.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
They're only going to have the fucking, the war hawks out there talking in a place like, fucking shitbag Miley or, prison face Brennan and doing the fucking leftist fucking rounds. The ones that want us to go to war with Iran and whatnot. those are the ones that you're going to hear. Oh well, they endorsed Kamala's, right? So did Darth Vader and his daughter, and I mean, all the wrong people. The IRS union or whatever. Fuck, man.
Right.
You know.
The IRS union is fucking. That's great. That's probably the best endorsement for Trump, even though
Right.
the endorsement was for Kamala. You know. But yeah, everybody fucking all the fucking voters love the IRS fucking workers union. You know. I'm sure that everybody's just fucking. They probably get more donations than the fucking Kamala campaign. You know.
Yeah.
But
And then you got even the NIH is in it, dude, making you pay for fucking pamphlets with them, roundabout endorsing camels.
you're right.
Like,
Fucking,
why the fuck would the National Institute of Health, you know what I mean, be getting into the political John, dude?
because they getting paid. Nope.
We're paying them.
Right. They're getting paid with Joe money, motherfucker.
Right.
Yeah, thinking they're gonna get some lucrative contracts in this coming up omnibus bill. Yeah, let's just keep in mind that's fucking looming around the corner too. It's almost that time of year where pretty much after the election when the previous incumbent people basically just decide what the fucking budget's gonna be for the next year. So
Right.
yeah, let's get ready for let's get ready for that whopper. That's gonna be just around the corner. But yeah, so in terms of the Middle East, there's no possibility that Kamala Harris has any chance of resolving anything over there because of the fact that the people in power in a lot of these heavily Islamic countries will not give Kamala Harris the time of fucking day because of the fact that she is a fucking woman. Period. End of story. Right. And that's just their culture. Right. And that's reality. That's really what the world kind of has been for like ever, So yeah, there's no way that Kamala Harris is going to go fucking talk down the Iranian, regime. There's no way that she's going to go and, like I said, even get a fucking audience with them. It's basically if she gets in power, it's going to be 4 years of war in the Middle East. And more than likely 4 years of constant war within Russia. I'm sure at that point that will embolden the Chinese to go ahead and move on Taiwan, which will, of course, force us over there as well. Like I said, a lot of our allies, what are they going to do? Are they going to fucking come help out? They're going to come fucking send their undertrained, fucking underfunded militaries there because, of course, they get their funding from us. So
Right.
yeah, we're pretty much fucked at that point, on the geo fucking political scale, on the basically just we'll be blown out of the fucking water. Let me put it that way, right? Fingers crossed that we don't get any more people invading our shores other than the people that we've already let in willingly. And again, let's just wait to see what ends up happening with that fucking ticking time bomb.
Right. It's just going to continue to drive up costs and fucking lower wages and so on and so forth, man. So I said, it doesn't matter who comes in next, that they're going to be left with a shit show because the can just, keeps being kicked down the road. Everything's being pushed back till after the election. You know what I mean?
Yep. And then let's also keep in mind, in terms of this whole Middle East thing, it's probably going to be a little bit of war with Donald Trump as well, too, because, of course, let's not forget that, Iran is currently trying to kill Donald Trump. So, there's that, But either way, war in the Middle East is looking highly likely, seeing as we're already striking, what is it, in Lebanon? Don't we already have U.S. strikes in Lebanon?
Yeah,
Good times.
Yeah, and not to mention we've sent reserves over there. The Tennessee reserves, instead of being home helping out their fucking statesmen there with the flooding and whatnot, they're being sent off to fucking Israel, man.
Fucking absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah, and they constantly there's no American troops on the grounds. They're all over the place.
Right. Yeah, there's no American troops on the fucking ground in this disaster region on your home soil. But yeah, there's definitely troops in the Middle East. There's definitely United States troops over in Ukraine right now. There's United States troops all over the fucking world because quite literally that's the way that our bases are set up. We literally have troops all over the world at any given moment. But don't worry. We're not trying to, invade anybody's sovereignty or, keep anybody under our boot, anything like that. That's not what we're about. We're not like the world police or nothing.
Definitely don't try to be. You know what I mean? Fucking dude, you hate to say fucking death, but it's there, man. And these old cats are really the fucking war hawks.
Yep.
The ones that refuse to leave and just continue to hold on to power with their skeletal fucking fingers. Like I mentioned, old Lindsey Graham. What a piece, dude, that guy is.
Right.
Well, look at Israel's like, dude, fuck Israel. Like your own state's fuck, bro.
Yeah.
I mean, they keep talking about this low death toll. Like the death toll's up to 200, but around the inner zones, you keep hearing quotes of thousands of people missing and shit.
Yep. What do you think? I mean, obviously, if Trump gets in office, he's not gonna. We're like I said, we're probably going to be in the Middle East again because, of course, he's not going to just leave Israel high and dry. Yeah, that's for sure. You could pretty much guarantee that. And at the same time, like I said, Iran wants to kill him. But do you think? Just the complete America just back off? Because, like I said, the entire world is a boiling pot right now, and basically, it's the fucking the thing to turn it down is fucking broken off. Do you think Donald Trump should try and flex the power of the United States to try and calm down the world? I mean, obviously that's probably what he's going to end up trying to do. But do you think the more kind of anti-interventionist approach to a lot of this would work as well? Or do you think that's what some people are hoping for with Trump?
Yeah, you hope it's rattling the fucking big stick is what
Right.
it'll take. I mean, I think the dude will come in and be looked at like a loose cannon, just like previously, but even more so because it'd be the last time he could ever hold the position. So it has no one to fucking please or worry about basically. And I think that right there will give some trepidations. That's why we know they waited to a certain look at fucking Ukraine, right? Obama's in office, they invade. Trump's in office, they don't. Biden's in office, they do again, almost fucking immediately. I mean, you see a pattern there, and the same is when fucking Clinton was in office. So it's you got to recognize the pattern. There's an issue there. You know what I mean? Step one's recognizing it. Step two is washing it off, man.
Right.
You keep saying like again, Lindsey Graham. It's not like I'm saying Republicans are the answer, right? But Trump is, I believe the dude loves his country regardless of faults, and I believe he'll do anything that he can to keep us out of full scale fucking conflict.
Right. Yeah, I think that's going to be his number one concern is making sure, like you said, is he doesn't want people to be dying. That's his number
Right.
one thing is basically just he doesn't want people to die. So I'm sure his number one thing is going to be trying to negotiate peace, rather than trying to negotiate terms of war or who we're going to be back in or this and that. But ultimately, like I said, I do not see anybody else that could possibly calm this situation down other than Donald Trump.
I hope that's the case, man. You know what I'm saying? I hope the trajectory continues and that turns out to be the case because that's not to mention it, the economic part, but fuck. I mean, we're talking about the two most armed countries on the planet, possibly going at it. That's the last fucking thing that we need, man.
Right. Yep. Shit. Another last thing that we don't need is fucking dock workers refusing to work. Yeah. So of course, as we saw, the dock workers are threatening to go on strike. Of course, like we had mentioned earlier, the crisis seems to have been temporarily band-aided over until after the election. What did you say? It was sometime in January that they did the extension
I
to?
believe so. Yeah.
Yeah, so most likely after inauguration day as well. But yeah, it's let me see if I could pull up some of the union bosses videos real quick.
Right.
Let
This fucking
me go ahead and
mobster
get
fuck.
your thoughts on this guy.
And this guy, it's like a movie, right? I mean, you put this guy in a movie and it's so cliche. You'd be like, that's not real. No one talks like that. But here he is, right? Speaking covered in gold. We'll cripple you. I mean, just, threatening the economic health of the country just because they want more money. And, I'm not a union dude. I know that's an unpopular opinion for a lot of people on both sides of the political spectrum. But, I've seen firsthand what they can do to businesses, growing up, in Detroit and shit. And dude, it's pretty rough, and it's like a political arm, for the most part for the Democrat Party, right? And this union is not like the ones that have endorsed Trump or refused to endorse because of members, saying that they back Trump. These guys, they're all for fucking the leftist regime, and
Right.
so you got to wonder, was this a kind of a setup, almost a show, like a win, and they barely shut down. What, like 60 ships were waiting to dock by the time that they went on and said, okay, we'll go ahead and go back to work. But the demands are just fucking outrageous, like a 77% raise with better retirement, better health insurance, more paid time off. I mean, of course, union shit. And don't get me wrong, it'd be great to be treated like your fucking royalty, right? But the truth is a lot of these cats that work these longshoremen already make six figures. You're talking about a 77% raise, bro. Come on, man.
Right. Yeah, absolutely fucking
That's
insane.
Yeah, brake companies. I mean, do you still want a job? Because the whole point of a fucking business is to turn profit, not to give it to you. You know what I mean?
Right. You also have to keep in mind that, of course the unions are there to negotiate these people's, wages and stuff like that, but they also have other parts of negotiating as well too, which a lot of it is job retention. So a lot of the stuff on these docks could be automated by fucking robots and shit like that. But of course, the union bosses make sure that that is never going to happen, right? So a lot of this stuff could be streamlined. A lot of this stuff, these ports could be open 24 hours a day, right? But of course, not with the union bosses. The union bosses are going to make sure that it's a 9 to 5 fucking shift, and that's the only hours of operation. Ain't nobody working after fucking 5 o'clock. I'm not sure the exact times, but they can dictate times, all that stuff. But again, like I said, really a lot of this extra cost and stuff, for shipping and stuff like that, really could be fucking eliminated by eliminating these guys that are basically threatening to fucking strangle the United States, and especially in times that we're going through right now. But again, I ultimately with Donald Trump's plan, it's really going to cut our reliance on them a lot too. So these people do have a reason to be trying to sabotage the Trump campaign by doing something, like you were saying, by trying to, pretend like they're going to strike, but then, oh, don't worry, the Kamala campaign, worked out a deal
Right.
with us or some shit like that,
Harry Balls to the rescues.
Right. But yeah, so I mean, like I said, these people do ultimately have a lot to lose with Donald Trump because, of course, like I said, he wants to bring manufacturing back home. He does, if anything, ship in supplies. If anything, you're going to get back to fucking shoveling coal off of ships. That's what your union fucking workers are going to be doing. Not going to be operating these fucking machines and shit. You're going to have a fucking automated system that are operating those fucking machines. Your ass is going to be down there shoveling fucking coal again, and glad to fucking do it. But
Yep, American
yeah,
products don't come on ships.
right. So that's what Donald Trump is trying to get back to. So it would make a lot of sense that these people are basically staging all of this shit. I wouldn't put it past them. Like I said, fuck all these guys. Fucking fire their asses, or cut their fucking contracts, replace everybody with fucking robots. What are you gonna do? Sue? You'll fucking make fucking hand over fist with fucking money that you would have to pay out, rather than what you would end up fucking losing over time by paying a lot of these people, especially with
Right.
the demands that they're asking for.
Yeah, and if you're in a union or you've benefited, like like your parent was in a union or something, it's easy to be like, they look out for you or whatnot. And like I said, it's great if you're making fucking $100 an hour, but the truth is, the vast majority of the shit doesn't fucking merit that type of pay, man. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah, there he is, bro.
Yeah, there's the guy right there.
Let me explain something to you. These people today don't know what a strike is. When my men hit the streets from Maine to Texas, every single port, a lockdown. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the companies money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. In today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
The music that started, hilarious, dude. Fuck.
Great.
Yeah, but it's just straight gangster shit, right, man? I mean, obvious fucking, Jersey gangster. Supposedly this cat's got like a $2 million house in, fucking Jersey and, another place, somewhere tropic or some shit and rolls around in a fucking Bentley. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just full on fucking stereotype, man. Makes like $770,000 as the boss of, the union itself and then runs a local and gets another $167,000. So this dude's making almost $1 million a year. You know what I mean? Like, we need some more monies. Is like, fuck, man.
All right, go fuck yourself, man.
Yeah, like you
you're
get
absolutely
paid to
fucking
act
ridiculous.
like a street hood, dude.
Right. But yeah. So the main thing that I picked up from this is, oh well, like he was saying, we get everything from fucking boats, from ships, right? Fucking every fucking thing, from your clothes to fucking, the food that you eat, everything comes on ships. So sounds like we should probably cut that out of the equation. That sounds like the actual problem to me. I don't give a fuck what you guys are getting paid. The actual problem that sounds like to me is those fucking shit that we're getting shipped in. We could make that shit at home, because oftentimes we're shipping out the fucking parts to go have it assembled somewhere else and then ship it back to us because it's cheaper to use fucking slave labor overseas than it is to actually just pay, American workers. But yeah, fuck it, cut that shit off, put major
because
fucking
of dudes
tariffs.
like this.
Right, because of fucking assholes like this, but yeah, cut that shit out, fucking make major fucking, put big tariffs, so that way you cut out the fucking the cost benefit to these people to send their shit overseas, and then in which case you can just bring the manufacturing back home. There you go, there's jobs for people. And at the same time, like back in the World War II days and shit like that, you saw people over there bringing their fucking pots and pans and shit like that to go help the war effort and all that. You can't fucking do that now because there's no fucking factories. You can't turn a fucking a toaster factory into a fucking arms manufacturer overnight because of the fact that there's no fucking toaster factories anymore. The only factories that we do have in America is usually fucking weapons manufacturers. So
Automotive, man.
Yeah, automotive as well. And so really, I mean, there's that. We need to bring a lot of this work back home. I don't know.
This is the repercussions of a fucking Democrat economic policy. This is fucking, and I'm not even talking about current. This goes all the way back to Bill Clinton with NAFTA.
Decades.
And this sent your jobs to Mexico and China and so on and so on. And it was going to be great for the economies. Like, how the fuck is shipping off your manufacturing, jobs and then relying on countries that aren't necessarily, on good terms of your allies, for the lifeblood of, what makes your civilization run? Absolutely ridiculous. And then you got douches like this that can hold you by the nuts and say I want to be paid fucking an exorbitant amount to do the least amount of work possible, and if not, you're fucked. Like this, it definitely should not happen.
Yeah. Yeah, they should not be able to fucking grab us by the balls like that. And at the same time, you ain't fucking American if you're threatening fucking fellow Americans at a time like this. Like I said, there's a lot more fucking important things to to life than rolling around in a fucking Bentley, and we're seeing that in the in the wake of Hurricane Helene. Like I said, a lot of these people they're not asking for fucking more money. They're just putting their livelihoods on the line so that way they can help their local community. These people on the other hand are basically, I need more fucking money, otherwise I'm gonna fucking destroy my entire nation. I'm gonna let my entire nation fucking starve if you don't give me more money. Yeah, fuck this guy. I said, like you said, if unions, help your family back in the past, it's not the same. Especially now that they've gotten so politically intertwined with the fucking oligarchic machine that is the current United States government. Yeah, it's not the same anymore.
Not to mention, my personal fucking experiences with unions. I saw them protect nothing but the weak and the lazy, man.
Right. Yep. And then we wonder why shit doesn't run efficiently. Why my fucking trash don't get picked up on time and shit.
Very few unions here, though, man. We live in a right-to-work state, and the average wage is, quite a bit higher than a lot of other states. That's for sure, especially like where I'm from, man.
Yeah.
I prefer it myself. I mean, like I said, a union, is great. I'm sure if you're benefited from it, but you're not realizing the actual, implications.
Yeah, they're definitely trying to get rid of that too. The Democrats definitely don't like the fact that Arizona's a right to work state. They hate right to work states.
Right.
Yeah.
God forbid that you'd be able to negotiate your fucking wage for yourself. I mean, because
Right.
ultimately that's what all jobs boil down to is what you accept.
Yep. Fucking dock workers.
Right,
Yeah.
man. Like Chris Plant was saying, though. I mean, dude's got his show on fucking Newsmax. He's a nationally broadcasted radio. Dude, he gets some fucking pretty big hits on Spotify, and he was like, "Dude, if they get that 77% raise, I'm quitting everything and going to work on the fucking docks, man."
Yeah. But all right, you ready to talk about the political lawfare against the people that supported Donald Trump in his efforts to contest the results of the election? Because of course we have this stuff going down here in Arizona as well too. There's several of the alternate slate of electors here in Arizona that have been indicted and or found guilty. I believe isn't Rudy Giuliani indicted down here in Arizona as well?
Yeah, but they're not going to get shit now. The only thing they could do is fucking try to put him away at this point because they're already trying to liquidate everything he fucking owns to pay other judgments, and they're just destroying him. I mean, that was fucking America's mayor, but he sided with one of the biggest personalities in New York, so he's got to be fucking destroyed and crucified.
Right. Which again, just like I said, just let you know, if you're mad at the government, Donald Trump is not the government. The government does not accept this man as one of their own, and that's become abundantly clear within the last decade. They don't like Donald Trump. Donald Trump is not one of them. Donald Trump is for the people, and they hate that. And a lot of people, always question, like, oh, well, why would somebody do that? Why would somebody risk everything that they have, their entire livelihood, their entire legacy, everything, just to say, help the people and stuff? Like, who fucking knows? Who the fuck knows? I mean, I understand people's apprehension and stuff because that is, an odd thing. But dude, the dude took a fucking bullet and went out on stage the fucking next day. Like, the dude is clearly something's fucking snapped in this guy's head that this guy is for the people. He's the person that's meant to fucking to right the ship. here in America, at least, like I said, possibly even in the world. At this point in time, things that happen in America have a massive ripple effect around the entire globe. So, I mean, this dude's he's something different.
And what other reason could you fucking ascertain from it? How much could he benefit, dude? Like he, donated his entire salary, the previous term. And I mean, he's a multi-billionaire. You know what I'm saying? He's got everything he could want. He's toward the fucking, the end of his life. You know what I mean? Like, what else could he possibly get out of it? You know what I mean? You're going to make fucking, maybe $1 million, while he's there. And then even if he makes money when he's out, how many years he got left?
Right. Yeah, this is all about his legacy at this point. It's about either it's one about his legacy, or it's two just about trying to do the right thing before he dies. For somebody that has the ability and the power and potential that Donald Trump has had. I mean, it's about time somebody did it.
Storied life, though, even the legacy aspect, like what more could you attain? I mean, okay, you could say I watched her 2 terms, like you were president, bro. You know what I mean? Like, doesn't even need that. He's done everything. Bad chick, man, fucking great kids, billions of dollars, dude, lives in oceanfront property. Everything's good, man.
Yeah, but I mean, unless he could be the first. I mean, not the first person that fundamentally changes the fabric of politics in America, but the first person that fundamentally changes the fabric of the politics in America in favor of the states and of the people, rather than in favor of further federalization of the government. I mean, like I said, we've had radical changes throughout America's history. I mean, of course, Abraham Lincoln, Andrew Jackson, so many different shits going on, all the way from we talk about it all the time, fucking the creation of the Federal Reserve. All of this shit has really fundamentally changed the fabric of the United States, but it has always been in one direction, and it has always been in more power from the people to the government. Right. This is the first time in American history that there could be some person that fundamentally changes the fabric of politics in the opposite direction and starts to. He could be the first person to bring the power back to the people. Or it could just be an illusion, and he could be the deep state, and he could just fucking exercise authoritarianism now that we have legal precedent to lock up our opponents and everyone's pro-America again. And
Right.
But
way off. What was this chick's name? She was like a superintendent, though, right?
Let me see. Former Mesa, Colorado County clerk and Gold Star mother Tina Peters sentenced to 9 years in latest political persecution. So let me just read like the first couple of paragraphs to see if it gets through the meat and potatoes real quick. And yet another blatant display of political persecution. Former Mesa County, Colorado clerk Tina Peters, age 68, a Gold Star mother, has been sentenced to 9 years in prison after bravely raising questions about election and irregularities. Peters was relentlessly pursued by local and federal authorities, culminating in charges that were politically motivated from the outset. Peters' crime: exposing the truth about what happened in the 2020 election. Last month, Tina Peters was found guilty on 7 of 10 charges for preserving critical election data. The Gateway pundit's Brian Lupo attended the trial. Tina Peters is the election clerk for Mesa County, Colorado. She made a copy of her machine's information before performing the action requested by Griswold, who demanded that all voting machines' election data should be erased, which is against the law. After the 2020 election, Ms. Peters was attacked for her actions. Mesa County District launched a criminal investigation against Peters for allegedly posting election system passwords on the internet. Peters maintains she had nothing to do with the crime she is accused of and is being targeted for documenting election fraud in her county. We have a Secretary of State that is drunk with power. She makes emergency decrees, and when we query her, she refuses to answer in violation of the state law, she told the crowd during Mike Lindell's symposium. All right, so, and just, you got about the gist of it there. But
it could very well be a death sentence. Like you said, she's almost 70, man. Give her 9 years. The judge was an absolute douche, just derided her in court, talked a bunch of shit, and made sure that, it was served. What is it called? Concurrently? Where you got to serve it back to back to back and fucking
consecutive.
Right. Yeah. consecutive, right? Yeah, he could have gave her concurrent, which would have only been like 4 years.
Right.
But instead, he fucking stacked it on, gave her as much as he possibly could. And again, she shared information. You know what I mean? That's what she did, and that should be public information anyway. Like you said, it's supposed to be against the law for it to be destroyed. So if anyone, should have fucking faced charges, it should have been the person that ordered the shit to be destroyed to begin with. And that's there. And fucking, you have their Supreme Court. What was it? No, it's here in Arizona, where the Supreme Court, right, just ruled that 98,000 people that can't prove their citizenship can vote. And then afterwards, they're like, oh, actually, it was 208,000. Yeah, I mean, this is just all shenanigans, and they're punishing people that are pointing it out, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, not only it was like, well, we got to cancel them, deplatform them, what have you, but then they realize that doesn't really work. And, they can only go so far with the censorship without changing the First Amendment, like Kerry's speaking on.
Right.
But, ultimately, this is what it is.
Yeah.
We'll let your grandma die in prison for fucking trying to point out reality.
Yeah. And like, obviously, it's a show. It's sending a message basically that, where these people are really against the people that support Donald Trump. And, like we said before, their political persecutions against Donald Trump have not been coming to any sort of, fruition, but the smaller ones against his allies and people that back him, down to even his attorneys, those ones have been proving effective. Obviously a lot of these people don't have the resolve, so they're willing to, make up fucking, false statements against Donald Trump, or, basically say whatever the fucking state wants them to say in order to save their own ass a little bit, which of course understandable. A lot of this stuff is absolutely bullshit. These people should not be being politically persecuted like this, but ultimately it is what it is right now. The only thing that we really can do is just, like I say, bring it to the light as much as we can. And just I guess kind of hope for the best. I can try not to say too much on YouTube streams.
Yeah, but you're reading some crazy articles floating around, like supposedly it's been leaked the FBI is going to send agents, plainclothes agents, fucking to polling stations like in Maricopa County to monitor fucking Trump voters and whatnot. And of course that they're coming out and publicly denying it. But if it's not real, why are you publicly denying it? And that's why they keep with the myths and disinformations, that you don't censor fucking myths and disinformation. You say, dude, that's bullshit, and here's proof stating that it's bullshit. You know what I mean? You shut down the truth that you don't want to hear or to come out.
Right. Yep. And that's why we cannot have this regime continue. Yeah, these people are they're blatant about what they're doing, and of course, looking back on stuff, they've always been kind of blatant about what direction they're going. Like you say, look at all these World Economic Forum videos and stuff like that from back in the day. They've always said exactly what they've been trying to do. It's always been Alex Jones conspiracy theories, man. Like,
Right.
it's just always been the type of stuff that people don't talk about. And at the same time, when they had control over the media and what you were able to see and what you weren't able to see, before the days of the internet and stuff, a lot of these people were easily just smeared as crackpots, or as crazy,
Yeah.
And really, like I was talking about earlier, they just keep the people dumb. They keep the people dumb and glued to the TV. Nobody actually pays attention to politics. Nobody actually even understands how civics work in the United States, beyond fucking Schoolhouse Rock. And most people don't even understand that, but
they don't even show that shit no more, man.
Yeah. So basically, if the fucking idiot box comes and tells you like, oh, these people are saying this, but they're just crazy, then the fucking idiots watching the idiot box are going to believe it. But a lot of people are kind of breaking away. The internet is being a insanely useful tool to to the people to be able to share information. Of course, like we say too, just their censorship efforts have been backfiring on them, because of course it's not like the government's going to censor the people that they like, so it's easy to see who is on the side of the government, or who's being paid by the government or an actor for the government, and who is actually on the side of the people. You know, because like I said, this censorship regime, it's becoming it's blatantly apparent. You know, down to the video that we're going to watch here in just a minute of the mainstream media basically admitting that they are mouthpieces for the Democrat Party.
Did it. Bam, 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 bam.
We got O'Keefe Media Group, of course. James O'Keefe, you know, again, another victim of the deep state, where they went after his original media group, which was Project Veritas, and basically just kicked him out and took over his company. And now there's different people running it, it's still around, but it doesn't have the star power that it had with James O'Keefe. So he started his own O'Keefe Media Group, and now he has essentially the same thing. Just it's not Project Veritas anymore. It's a O'Keefe Media Group. But he recently got a video here with the one of the producers from MSNBC.
So do you feel like
name? Basal Hamdan. All right, but we'll check out like the first 2 minutes of this. It's 11 and a half, 12 minutes long, but we'll check out the first 2 minutes of it, because that's where you really get a lot of the gist of what's going on here, and then we'll talk about it for a bit.
MSNBC is doing enough to help the Harris campaign?
I mean, they're doing all they can.
Meet Basil Hamdan, a writer and producer for MSNBC's weekend show, Iman. Basil also reveals that, quote, what her message of the day is their MSNBC's message of the day.
What have they done to help the Harris campaign?
Amplify her message. What her message of the day is their message of the day.
Hamdan revealed that MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece and is doing anything to get Kamala elected. Hamdan says this news network is indistinguishable from the Democratic Party.
So is MSNBC just like doing whatever it takes to get Kamala elected?
Yes. It hammers home the point that I'm making, that this news network is indistinguishable from the party.
Are they just the Democratic Party's mouthpiece?
Exactly.
MSNBC is the Democratic Party's mouthpiece.
Yeah.
Basil calls MSNBC viewers brainwashed and states that MSNBC made their viewers dumber over the years.
Viewers get mad at the guests or the host if the host were to criticize Democrats. They've made their viewers dumber over the years. I think brainwashing and dumbing down,
It's bad.
aggressive,
I get it.
helps Trump.
When she's delivering these messages now, I think she keeps getting better.
Kamala Harris is telling the truth. The hate campaign against Kamala Harris has begun. They purposefully pronounce her name wrong.
But as a black woman, the product of a mixed marriage, she's an inspiration.
I don't know, Nicole, vote for her or don't vote for her, but isn't it great to just have a positive conversation right now?
Last week, we saw Vice President Kamala Harris's first mainstream media solo interview of her presidential run with MSNBC's Stephanie Ruhle. Many people were stating how much of a softball interview it was. Here's a clip from that.
I just want to ask you yes or no. At any point in your life, have you served 2 all beef patties, special sauce, lettuce, cheese, pickles, onions on a...
All right, so we'll go ahead and pause it on this fucking creepy ass picture right here. But yeah, that's about the gist of it. I mean, you basically get what's going on here. That's an executive producer. I don't know if it's an executive producer, but it's a producer over at MSNBC, and basically just says the quiet part out loud. All the stuff that we've kind of already known and suspected all along, but ultimately it's being brought to the forefront of reality. What people are seeing right now. Let me see. This video's got 141,000 views. So I mean, we can still get it shared around a bit more. But I mean, ultimately, people are seeing this stuff, and yeah, like I said, it's the quiet part out loud, man. What's your take?
Like, yeah, definitely the quiet part out loud. Obvious, showing you that it's all manufactured fucking theater. Again, she went from being the most disliked vice president, in the fucking high 20s up into the fucking mid to high 40s, depending on where you were looking in a couple weeks because of the manufactured hype. You know what I mean? Anytime this chick says anything, she makes a complete ass of herself. Like there's no way that you could confuse anything that she says as, you know, any type of intellect. Like even as a senator, you listen to her speak when she was like trying to question fucking what is it, Brett Kavanaugh, and you know, just a complete fucking moron. Like, you know, speaking in, you know, in chambers, like, you know, what was it, to the border patrol, telling, or ICE, like, are you aware of the perception of, like, you know, of the KKK was looked at? Like, you don't see any
Right.
parallel. Like, what the fuck, man? You know
But
what
are
I'm
you
saying?
aware
I
that
mean,
people perceive it that way?
yeah,
You're aware of
yeah.
people's perception.
Right. I perceive you to be a complete stooge. And, you know, so anyone that's even saying, like, you know, I like Kamala, I vote Kamala, like, it's strictly for surface reasons. I mean, you know, nothing she says. I mean, the clip from this, of course, with the, you know, she wanted to go right to the, well, I grew up, you know, in middle classes. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Right.
it's a constant regurgitation fest.
Yep. Yep. Freaking as we saw, that was Tim Wall's answer for was he in Tiananmen Square or not during the,
Right.
you know, the obvious democracy riots or the protests, and his answer
Did you
was
watch
that,
this? Go ahead. Sorry, I'm sorry.
his answer was that he grew up in a middle class family. Go ahead.
Right. Yeah. Did you watch this this so-called camel interview here?
I watched, you know, the clips from it, but
The best one's got to be, like, you know, if you don't have the Senate and Congress, and, you know, you talking about you want to raise corporate tax rates, yada yada. How are you going to do that?
right
And, like, you
thing,
can see,
we got to make it happen. Or we
she's like,
have to raise the corporate
taxes
tax.
have to be raised. This,
Right.
like, absolute no answer whatsoever, man.
Right. We're gonna do it. It's yes, we can. Yeah, fucking absolutely insanely bad candidate. Not to mention the fact that she never won any primary. But what did she get in the 2020 primary?
Right, she was like at fucking 1%. She was the first one to drop out. She didn't even make it to Iowa. She didn't even make it to her own state, man. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, but ultimately now she's got the nomination. Keep in mind they alienated several other people in order to get her the nomination, one of which including being the current president and person who actually did have the Democratic Party nomination. But they also you know, pretty much shut out RFK Jr. as well, by basically that was the whole reason for keeping Biden in the entire time, was to make sure that they don't have a primary, because of course RFK Jr. would have ran in that primary and he would have clearly ended up winning, and they can't have RFK Jr. doing that because of course he's not in the inner circle as well either. Of course he's definitely left wing. He definitely wants to implement a lot of stuff that we really don't want to see implemented here, but nonetheless he has now become an ally of Donald Trump due to the fact that the Democrats, obviously, as you could see from Colin's face, have gone absolutely batshit crazy.
Right. It shatters the illusion that is fucking, you know, the duality fucking, you know, paradigm, man. It's just fucking one click, and they just pick and choose who they're going to have and act like you can vote for fucking who you want to be. You know, they convince you. And this is proof positive right here, man.
Yep. This fucking psychopath. Yeah, so this guy is fucking nuts, man. Like, as you could see from the face that he makes as he says that we are brainwashing our viewers and we are making them dumber. And he just sits there with a smile on his face, like, yep. Like, I'm pretty sure he fucking drank the Kool-Aid first, you know. And he's clearly fucking gone, dude. Like, this guy is psychotic. But of course, he's gonna try and come out with a statement like, "Oh, you know, I was just trying to impress a girl on a date or something like that. I was just saying whatever the mainstream people are thinking and stuff right now, or the conspiracy theorists are thinking, you know, to try and impress her or something like that." See, you know, it's been played out almost every single time James O'Keefe catches somebody. Yeah, they basically just, oh, I was on a date. I didn't know I was on camera and stuff like that. Like that's generally when you're gonna kind of be at your most vulnerable, and that's when they gotta get you. But yeah. So we'll
You
see where
wouldn't
this
think, like, why the fuck do you keep asking me these questions, man? You know what I mean? And especially in the fashion that they're being asked it. And these guys are magnets for the fucking weirdos that are involved in the bureaucracy and media. Even though it's the same. That's repeating myself, but you know, fuck, dude,
right.
magnet for these weirdos.
Yep. Yeah. So I mean, these it's not a show. It's not them trying to put on a character. It's what's actually going on. And of course, like I say, if you just look at any of the evidence, if you look at the Mockingbird media, if you just look at Operation Mockingbird, you'll see that that's basically what's been going on. Um, but yeah. So ultimately, like I said, well, a lot of people that have any sort of sense left in America are at this point pretty much woken up to whatever's going on. Anybody that's able to see what's going on at this point, they've seen it, and they can't unsee it at the anymore, especially because of the fact that it keeps ramping up. So ultimately, I think Donald Trump, again, don't want to get complacent. Everybody make sure they get out and vote early, vote often, fucking vote for your grandparents if you need to. But make sure that everybody gets out there and votes. But I think that Donald Trump might have this one locked up. Of course,
Possibly. I mean, he might have
there's
just
still
lost
time.
there might have just lost 3 entire states that were fucking pretty deep red, man. I
Yeah.
mean, you don't see those people. I mean, how are people in Tennessee, North Carolina? How are you going to vote, man?
Right.
If you can't feed yourself, you surely ain't looking for a voting booth.
Yep. Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm like I say, down to the fact that it's a simple 2-party. Well, I mean, of course, there is third parties, but I don't think that the entire states of was it North Carolina, Tennessee, and Georgia are gonna vote for a third party. But either way, and especially not fucking what's his fucking name, something Oliver. But,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they'll probably still vote Donald Trump by default. Of course, yeah, he could be out there, but it's the fucking federal government. Like, this is a fucking disaster. Yeah, he could send some fucking cases of water and shit like that, make an appearance, what have you. But I mean, ultimately, yeah, this is what the federal government is supposed to be there for. Like, this is quite literally their job. This is literally the
especially
reason for their existence.
Federal emergency, man.
Yeah. And so I mean, yeah, I guess like I said, he could probably lose some voters in those counties, but ultimately, I think that they're still going to end up voting Trump. Through the
I don't even mean not voting
state
for him. I
electoral
mean,
system.
like, the fucking place is destroyed. Like,
Oh.
you know what I mean? Like, there's no fucking voting booths. There's no fucking stores, restaurants, churches. I mean, everything's fucked, dude. Like, how you
Right.
gonna vote? You know what I'm saying?
Yep. Well, I mean, let's hope they're gonna end up having like fucking 5% of the voters turn out. Let's just hope it's the fucking diehards.
Yeah, and I mean, he's already been down there, of course, handing shit
Yeah.
out, and that's the reason Kamala finally. Well, I gotta go make an appearance, which was bullshit,
All
right?
right. Yeah, because I was gonna say
But
I thought I saw him out there like the first couple of days, like dropping
Yeah.
off stuff. But
yeah,
yeah.
that's what the dude does, man. I mean, fucking every time, whether he's president or not. I mean, that dude shows up. There's so many videos in the inner zones from decades of him showing up in different types of emergencies, even like private ones that you wouldn't think that he would even know about. Like, somebody else turned him on to, and all of a sudden he's like, just hit you up. I paid your wife's hospital bills. You know what I mean?
Yep. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean, hopefully the people that are able to actually get out and vote still are, obviously gonna end up being the ones that are going to be voting for Donald Trump. So
You think it would be even more so at this point, as far as that's concerned, because I mean, the current administration's like, sorry, we spent all the monies on illegals.
Right. Yep. Yeah, and then like I said, just everybody else is seeing it at the same time too. So it's definitely, like I say, a net positive in Donald Trump's favor. Of course, again, lives lost. The media is going to come out and try and spin it as Donald Trump is trying to politicize it, but ultimately, he's still he's there. And again, like I said, these people would vote for Donald Trump either way. But yeah.
And the only reason his shit's getting, the coverage that it gets is because of who he is. Like, if he wasn't president, he would still be doing that shit. You just wouldn't know about it.
Right. How do you think the media is going to try and cover him, in his next term? Do you think it's going to, do you think it's going to basically be the exact same thing, especially with all of the revelations that have, come to the forefront? Obviously, they're going to start seeing their viewership dwindling the more that they continue to just try and bash Donald Trump, especially as people see the positive at this point, as people see the smear campaign that the establishment has against him. Do you think that they're going to continue to just be the same establishment that they've been the entire time until the people finally just snap and, I don't know, abandon them altogether?
Yeah, I think that they'll press through because that's what's given them the highest ratings they probably have ever had, dude, in current day. It's that everything's fucking falling down, Chicken Little shit, and I think it'll continue. I think everything he does will not only be scrutinized like previous, but it'll also be like, this is going to cause a catastrophe. You know what I mean? Everything's fucking fear campaign, and fucking theater, of course, and then you're going to have, of course, the usual suspects, fucking Dan Goldman, Adam Schiff, all these people, fucking rat skin, trying to impeach him, and coming out with what he's doing right now is illegal. It's going to be legal, fair, congressional hearings, fucking nonstop, man.
Yep. So I mean,
that's why the
ultimately,
key is who he surrounds himself with. Like, if he really keeps the dream team together, brings Tulsi in, a different cast, and has a plan, like the shit with Elon, especially like now Elon posting, my blood's boiling, this government shit. Come in and do the old Twitter zones, man.
Yeah.
The fucking chainsaw. He was just hanging out with Malay recently, dude. He, picking up some tips.
Right. Yeah. I mean, like I said, we're as we say quite often on the show, we're at a precipice right now, and it could really go either way. Like I said, the people in power are they're going to do everything that they can to remain in power, because obviously Donald Trump is a threat, and as we see, they're not above trying to kill the man. They've already tried it twice. Like that's not just
with the Iranian shit.
Right. I mean, that's at this point not incompetence, that's actual malice. Like that's not mistakes, and that's scary.
Yeah, what's the saying? Fucking layered incompetence equates to malice.
Yeah. I mean, like I say, it's been 3 different fucking attempts on his life. There's probably going to be more. Like I said, he's going to be dodging bullets all the way up until Inauguration Day, when he's able to put whoever he wants to in charge of the Secret Service. But up until that time, they're going to be more worried about trying to protect the Iranian president than they're going to be about worrying to try and protect Donald Trump. So it's going to be crazy. Like I said, this next fucking 6 months is going to be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, after is going to be the wildest time. If it goes our route, it's not going to go our route. It's going to be fucking, like it was previously, DC on fire, nothing but smoke plumes and, from the helicopter on the news. And, he's got to rein it in, though. Don't even either completely crack down on it, or, fuck, you guys brought that on yourself, deal with it while I'm trying to actually fix the economy at large,
Yeah.
Myself, I would rather see the crackdown. Like I said, last time he can ever hold this position again, he doesn't have to please no one but his soul and fucking his constituents, I guess. And, we need a Pinochet, bro.
Yeah. Yep. But I don't know, man. We'll see. yeah, of course, fingers crossed. Always looking out for the positive outcome. And like I said, I'm sure we're like I said, the thing in North Carolina and stuff, it really showed the heart of Americans, you know. And so this whole thing about like, oh, if the government were to collapse and stuff, like who would take care of each other, and who, you know, people wouldn't be able to trade and stuff if there is no money. Like, fuck, dude, we would figure something out, you know. If fucking disaster strikes, Americans are gonna figure some shit out. And it's, as long as you don't fucking take away our ability to do so and our fucking tools and stuff that we need to in order to protect ourselves, we're going to be able to protect ourselves, you know?
Yeah, without the government going after your innovators and, you know, your great minds of the fucking time for political reasons, you know, it's like the meme. Without the government, fuck, we may be in, you know, flying vehicles by now. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, it's the most efficient, inefficient, you know, form of you know, getting stuff done for the public. You know, it's, yeah, at least, you know, it used to be effective. Just we're coming to a different age. You know, we're coming to a different age of society, and yeah, you know, it used to be effective in terms of you know, trade, all that type of stuff. But yeah, dude, like, you know, in terms of taking care of each other on the home front, I think government should really kind of just stay out of all that. You know, like
yeah,
you know, people should be able to start their own businesses. People should be able to trade with each other. Shit, people should be able to fucking barter with each other. You know, without the fucking, oh, well, we need to get exact value so that way we can tax you on whatever was profited from that. You know, like, it's, yeah, if government really just fucked off, the world could be a better fucking place.
Yet the opulence of being a fucking empire built on the service industry was fucking, you know, it was cool and all, but let's get back to basics and, you know, start building shit, looking out for our own, and, you know, fucking moving forward without tyrants standing over your back trying to dictate, you know, how much you can spend, how much you can make, how much they're going to take, and what size fucking soda you can purchase. You know what I mean?
Right. Yep. Yeah. But either way, you know, fingers crossed, man, hoping for the best. Everybody make sure you guys get out there and vote Donald Trump. Don't vote for Kamala Harris. If you're going to vote for Kamala Harris, don't get out there and vote, please. You know, but if you're going to get out there and vote for Donald Trump, make sure you guys make it out there. All right. And if you want to vote for Kamala Harris, you could text your vote in to this number appearing at the bottom of your screen.
You're trying to go to prison.
Right. That's fucking, yeah, that's insane. I don't know. Here's a real quick. Another good thing is the Supreme Court has struck down Gavin Newsom's attempted meme ban in California. Right. So of course he was trying to ban memes. Yeah. The Supreme Court went ahead and struck that bitch down. Said it's obviously a violation of people's free expression. So go fuck yourself, Gavin Newsom. But anything else you want to throw in before we get out of here, man?
Fuck, man, like you said it, dude. Vote, man. Vote for Trumpsicles and do it up, man. There's Dabu. I'll be voting for Trump here in Indiana. Fucking
yeah.
good dude.
Power to you, brother. Try and get other people to vote
MAGA
too.
town.
Yeah. Yeah. That fucking bring, as Bongino says, bring 10 people and have them bring 10 people. And then those 10 people that they've brought, have them bring 10 more people. That's like 1 billion fucking votes right there. Just in your
Scott
neighborhood.
Pressler, man.
Right.
Scott Pressler's bringing Pennsylvania with him.
Oh yeah. Yeah. If you know, if Donald Trump ends up taking Pennsylvania, that's almost solely Scott Pressler, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah, and of course the poor governance of the government of Pennsylvania as well too, probably. But either way, we appreciate you guys stopping by. Don't forget to like this video, share this video out with your friends. Let us know what you guys think in the comments section. And as always, fuck off.